Hello YouTubers, it's Matthew Williams here, and I'm coming to you to talk about a guy called Richard D. Hall. You know, don't you just hate these people who've got to put their fucking initials in their thing? Because it makes them sound all fucking important, doesn't it? You know, Matthew P. Williams. Matthew P. Williams. You know, I'm not Matthew Williams, I'm Matthew P. Williams, yeah? Fucking hell. Right, so anyway, Mr. Fucking Important has made a crop circle documentary, and this crop circle documentary, oh my god, from somebody who actually knows about crop circles, cause I've made just a few over the years, it was painful. It was really painful. I actually wrote to the guy and said to him, you know, could you sort of, you know, tell me where you're coming from on this, because it's like, you know, it is a bit painful. And he wrote back and he said, I'll give you his reply. I mean, I basically said to him, you know, there was an assumption made that 95% of crop circles were fake in the video, which is pretty much nigh all everything that's out there, yeah? I mean, when you think, you know, the people in the program were actually saying that 95% were fake, yeah? And if that's the case, then what's actually out there that's of any real interest? And considering they showed quite a number of circles, in fact one, they showed the basket weave formation. They showed the basket weave formation, which I actually admitted to, yeah, in court when I got arrested in 2000. I actually admitted to having been one of the persons there doing that, and took credit for it, yeah, and yet they're saying there's absolutely no way that that could be faked. Well, do you know why that's a load of bollocks? Yeah, because you've got Hulse and Caton, right, these two experts, David Caton and Robert Hulse, I think their names are, and they're experts, you see, and they've been out there in the field and they've been down on their hands and knees checking the crop circles, you know, in sort of diligent fashion, which is fine, you know, okay, they've got their opinions, but they say there's absolutely no way that the basket weave was made. No way, yeah? They were quite emphatic about that. And if that's the case, how come they were able to actually research that formation? Anybody answer that one? Because it was shaved out the very morning it appeared. And according to everybody I know, nobody got to go in that formation. There was nobody went in it. You know, there was a guy called Ulrich Cox, I believe, who flew over it and managed to take some photos of it, but nobody went in there. The farmer was on the field, he wouldn't let people enter the formation, right? So the only photographs that existed were aerial photos, but yet David Caton and Robert Hulse can state emphatically that they know that this one is definitely not man-made. Yes, it's the real thing, yeah? Well, you're pretty confident, guys, yeah? Considering you weren't in there. So that's bollocks for a start. Anyway, let's go on to... I said that they made this statement that John Lundberg works for MI5, you know, and they made this big thing in the video. Oh, John Lundberg works for MI5, you know, and the reason we know this, is quite clear because on his website he was putting links to MI5, you know, and things like that on his website, and he was making references to MI5 on his website, and it's like, yeah, well, I hate to tell you this, guys, in case you haven't realised it, but John is a bit of a wind-up merchant, yeah? So I'm sorry if I'm the first person in the world to actually point this out to you so that you can really understand it clearly, okay? John is a little, just a little bit of a wind-up merchant, right? So there, you know, are you suitably clear on this now? Yeah. Now, John, in his interviews on many occasions, has said many things which aren't exactly how they are. Yeah. Now, the reason for this is because John likes to create hype around the crop circles. That's what John does. And if you listen to John's interviews, you'll actually hear him talk about the fact that, you know, some circles definitely couldn't be made by circle makers. Yeah? And, I mean, I'm not going to state as fact because you probably get pissed off. No, fuck it, I'll state as fact. You know, I'm always pussyfooting around these bloody people. I'll state it as fact. John states that circles cannot be made by people, right? When he knows exactly how they can be created by people, yeah? It's because it's part of how John operates. John operates to create myth and excitement about the crop circles, yeah? And he will, and I mean, I've done it to a certain degree as well. You know, I have done this too. I've said, yeah, you know, there are circles that appear every year and we don't know who creates them. But the bottom line is that these are usually formations by people we haven't met yet. And we will usually, eventually, years down the line sometimes, meet these people and work out how these circles were made. So, you know, it's not that you should take John 100% seriously with some of the things he says. He is trying to wind the audience up. He is trying to create a little bit of hysteria. He likes that. That's how John works. You know, and fine. You know, that's John's art form. You know, he is carrying on what he believes is a tradition of circle making which goes back to Doug and Dave, which is slightly tongue-in-cheek. Yes? That's the way John operates. It is slightly tongue-in-cheek, yeah? So, you know, you want to make grand assumptions that John is a liar. Well, you know, I don't think John would actually deny that he sometimes slightly lies. Because, you know, that is the medium he works in. It's about making people think that people can't make crop circles, yeah? So, this is bloody crazy, you know, to see this video. Anyway, the great thing is then they go and say, well, you know, on his site he's got, you know, the words MI5 appear a few times as a link to MI5 site. Yeah, because he's trying to wind you up. Yeah, so you go and click on the MI5 website. You go, oh no, look, he must work for MI5. Bloody hell. You must have the brain cells of a child to fall for that crap, yeah? That it is designed for weak-minded people to get excited, and you have just got excited. So what does that say? Yeah, I mean, it's a hype thing. You know, just don't buy into it. Yeah, you know, use a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of noggin. Yeah, if he worked for MI5, do you actually think he would be promoting that on his website? Oh, I work for MI5. Oh, I'll just put hints on my website that I work for MI5 and a link to MI5. Do you think he would be allowed to do that if he worked for MI5? You're not allowed to do it. It's classed as breaching the Official Secrets Act if you tell people, apart from close family, that you work for MI5. You have to have special permission to do it and to speak to the press. You know? I mean, you know, do you know anything about these jobs? And that, no, that's not because I work for them. No. Oh, Matt Williams said he knew something about MI5's procedures. I've read books. I know how these bloody government departments work. I mean, you know, it's like, grow up, for fuck's sake. You know, the guy is not going to advertise on his own website that he works for MI5 if he worked for them. Fucking hell. Don't get it, do you? You just don't get it, guys. Yeah, you really don't get it. It's like, woof. Yeah? Okay, well, I'll come on to some of the other points, because this video of yours is really classic and really needs to be taken down a little bit.